Yo, good morning. Love wrestling. I have a fancy virtual background today that's supposed to say AEW Dynasty. Well, I'm rearranging stuff in my office, so my background is not, it's just a wall right behind me, like it's just a blank wall.
Oh.
So I was like, quickly I'll get something together. But yeah. Happy Sunday morning. Happy AEW Dynasty Day to everybody out there.
Everyone who celebrates.
Yeah.
Happy.
We're going to dive into it here. I mean, I don't think there's anything preventing us from diving in it. Drew was on Beards. We had the short show, but Drew was on Beards for a little bit this past Thursday. We dove into Dynamite a little bit. Pluggo was in attendance. So we had Drew on to talk a little bit about AEW Dynamite. Because we knew today we wanted to focus on Dynasty because it is quite the card.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about that. But last night, Drew, we did have 3 hours of action.
We did.
With AEW. We had Collision, and then we had a live Rampage.
Very good Collision.
Yeah, I thought it was a very, very good Collision. So I think, we can run through it. I thought it was a good show for the night before a pay-per-view. They got all their main stars that are on that pay-per-view in this card. They had good matches. We'll talk about it, but Bryan Danielson was bleeding all over the place the night before he's supposed to have a dream match with Will Ospreay and stuff like that. So it was a really good episode of Collision. So let's dive in.
Really great promos too.
Yes, by the way. It did. So let's dive in. And then we'll get over to this AEW Dynasty card here. But it started off with a trios match. We had Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe defeat Action Andretti and Top Flight. And then there was some stuff that happened after the match involving House of Black and things like that, as we'll dive into them facing them tonight. But I thought this was a solid opener. It was fun. You got the excitement that you're gonna in the high flying out of Top Flight and Action Andretti that you're gonna expect. But I thought Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe looked good as a trio. I thought they were fun. And then we got some stuff with House of Black trying to get in their heads a little bit and scare them with the promo afterwards, and a good one too. But kind of talk about this opening match and this House of Black promo.
Yeah, the theme of the night, really, for certain things that we saw was, hey, you and you and you and you guys are feuding separately, but we're going to put you in a tag match or a trios match. But at least in one's case, in the FTR, in the main event of the show, it fit because it was all of the elite people, so it makes sense that they were, all on a team together. But yeah, this match, what an interesting group of people that maybe a year ago you would have been like Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, and I'm gonna say it because of the reason, Edge.
Yeah.
What a ragtag bunch of just people that have never I mean, that we've not seen really on a major scale like those cross paths before.
Yeah.
And they're all in a trios match. It's really wild. So I was really happy about this, and as was reported last week, Top Flight's Darius Martin
Yes.
got a pilot's license,
He sure did. He
so
sure
he's
did.
living the gimmick.
Lawrence, how we doing in the chat, my friend? Scott as well. Good morning to you, gents.
Um, but these three, I really like them as a trio.
I do too.
Honestly, I think they
And
work so well
and
together.
we're gonna dive into it because there's a match on tonight's show that I'm hoping will why can't I think of the word on this early Sunday morning? Will make the trios titles one, unify. That's what I'm thinking of. Unify the trios titles, and I would like
Right.
because the acclaimed haven't defended the trios titles since November.
Which I'm imagining then that means that
They've been
the
trios
Guns and
huge.
Jay White haven't also
I mean,
defended
I
theirs
don't
since
know.
November.
Yes, I don't know. I'm assuming it's been a while over there too. I honestly don't know. But I know that the acclaimed, honestly, at least from the information I have not defended those titles since last year. Since last year. Now,
Unfortunately, I can believe that.
now, I'm hoping that when we start diving into Dynasty here in a bit, that trios match that the acclaimed are involved in, which is a winner take all, I'm hoping that would unify the trios titles. And then can we start to get the trios titles defended regularly? Because when I think of Action Andretti and Top Flight, that is a perfect role for them to be in the trio circuit, going for the championships, maybe even being the champions at one point in the future.
Yeah.
Like that is a perfect role for those three guys because they're, Top Flight can be a top tag team as well, but I don't think at least now in the AEW landscape, they're not going to be single stars, any of the three of them. The tag team division up at the top of it is pretty full. Like that is a perfect spot for these three guys to be in and be regularly featured because they're good at what they do. I want to see
And they
the
they
Martin.
can even bounce between Ring of Honor and
Yes.
AEW.
Yeah, and that's what I think. You unify the titles and you have those trios float between the two companies.
And that's the only reason why we see Ring of
I
Honor
mean, they should be the
people
only Ring of
in
Honor
AEW.
champions we see on AEW.
But I mean, that's
Because,
not going to happen until the Kingdom aren't Ring of Honor tag team
and
champions anymore.
yeah, and we'll get there with that. But I think
Whenever that's
about
going to
people.
happen.
I think about people on the roster at the level of like an Action Andretti and Top Flight and stuff, and like the misuse or really the non-use of the trios titles and just that whole circuit. Yeah, they have a ton of trios matches. Yo, tight spot. What's going on, man? How we doing? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, we have a lot of trios matches on AEW, but they're never involving either of the trios titles, it feels like.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, can we start to focus on that if we are indeed unifying them
I
tonight?
think
Can we start to focus on that? Because there are people that will help on your roster.
one of Tony Khan's biggest booking problems is lumping a bunch of titles into a feud and not having any of them be defended. That's
Yes.
and not even the titles are not even just from one company, because you've got the Kingdom with the ROH tag championships, and then the guy who's like the pseudo leader at the moment, because Adam Cole's out, has the AEW Continental, right? That's what it's called.
AEW Continental Championship. Yes.
Title.
Okada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so, and then I mean, at least they've been booking Roddy to defend the title, so it's not like the acclaimed situation, but it's just it's weird because
It is.
and
It is.
it's more weird for Ring of Honor than it is for AEW, because AEW's titles get defended regularly for the most part, except for the trios title. What When was the last time there was a Ring of Honor trios just for those belts championship match?
Yeah.
When was the last time there was a tag team championship match? When
Mhm.
who's I could you know what's really sad? I have to actually think about who the champion is right now.
Yeah.
Who's the champ? Oh, it's Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe just won it. He just won it from Eddie Kingston.
So yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
title. And of course, Athena
Oh, yeah.
regularly defends her title
Yep.
only on Ring of Honor. She's the only person that we don't see regularly on AEW TV.
Yep.
And she's arguably the best champion out of all of them. So, uh, yeah, so it's just strange. It's just strange. And, we had the Battle of the Belts last week. That was like one of the shammiest, most ridiculous Battle of the Belts that we've ever seen with
Yeah.
a Ring of Honor title and a non-title, and I don't remember what the first one was, but it was just like, come on, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So if Battle of the Belts was utilized better to maybe have AEW versus Ring of Honor, I feel like that would be a cool way to integrate Ring of Honor into the AEW programming. If you want to, so like once in a while there'll be an AEW person holding a Ring of Honor title, and then a Ring of Honor person holding an AEW title.
Yeah.
But it actually has to, whatever you do, even if it's not that, you got to actually make Ring of Honor mean something.
Yeah.
And that's been a problem.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. But hopefully we're moving in the right direction. There was a video package recapping Swerve and Joe, which I thought was pretty good. And then we had Powerhouse Hobbs just destroy an individual. CJ Esparza was his name.
I remember.
And then after the match, John Callis cut a promo. It was a pretty good promo by Don. He's getting the heat, but he says that, he was the one responsible for booking Kenny Omega and Jericho at the Tokyo Dome. And because of that, New Japan owed him a favor. So he called and he made the match that's going to be on Dynamite on Wednesday between Jon Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs. He made that for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
That's a major, major deal.
It is.
Because
it is.
From what I've seen on the socials, that is the first time that a black man is challenging for that title.
And it's the first time, obviously. Yeah,
amazing.
It's incredible. It's the first time that the IWGP title is being defended on AEW television, obviously, which is a big deal. Yeah, this is a big deal. I mean, that is New Japan's heavyweight, the lineage, that's their heavyweight championship. I don't think they would just allow this to happen under any circumstances. You know what I mean? So that's a big time deal that they're allowing their heavyweight championship to be defended between two guys that don't work for them. Obviously, Moxley has he dubbed, but you know what I mean. These are two AEW rostered wrestlers that are going to be fighting for a championship that belongs to, so that's pretty wild stuff.
Not even their own show.
Exactly. That's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy. We then had a package promoting Ospreay and Danielson. And then we had a Jericho promo. So Jericho's backstage. He promises that he's going to teach Hook. What did he say? He's going to teach him a life lesson to not just be a better wrestler. What the fuck did he say? Did you take notes on this, or are you just out on the Jericho stuff?
I actually was running a live stream of the show and then
had
the Fightful thing afterwards.
Got it. So he basically said that he was going to teach Hook a life lesson and that he's going to beat Hook for the FTW title and he's going to humble him
and he'll be
Dynasty.
Under his learning tree.
That's right. The learning tree of Jericho. That's what
I'm wondering, from the way that he's talking, it almost seems like it might be another group.
Yeah.
Which I'm like,
I don't know if Hook's going to end up being in the learning tree of Jericho, but
I don't
yeah,
think so.
he's gonna have young guys. I assume he's gonna have younger talent underneath him again. So another group, and it's gonna be the learning tree of Jericho. I don't think Hook will be the guy, but I do see, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But I do think Jericho has a chance to win that belt tonight, though. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We then had a tag team match. It was the Guns, and it was the Acclaimed. Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass at ringside for the Acclaimed. Jay White and his golden bat at ringside for
I really
the
like
Guns.
that bat, actually.
I do too. Decent tag team. Decent tag team match here. It's pretty good. Obviously, Jay White and Billy Gunn. Jay White getting more involved, trying to do his Jay White type stuff on the outside. Billy Gunn out there as well. But the Guns would win this match.
Yeah. And who did they pin? They pinned Bowens, right?
I thought it was Bones. Yeah, I thought it was Bones that got the pinfall.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about, because this obviously, these gentlemen will be involved in that 6-man match, the trios match to unify the titles that we mentioned a little bit earlier. So we'll dive into that in a little bit. Yeah. And then we had this
interesting thing to note.
Yes.
For the first time, probably since February.
Yeah, Max
February, Max Caster rapped.
Yes, he did. He had not been. At first he was messing up his raps, and then he hadn't rapped in a bit. But he did a rap. He did a rap last night.
And it wasn't terrible.
420 references. He had some,
the OJ line,
the OJ stuff. Yeah,
pretty brutal. And
yeah,
he said something else too. I don't remember. But it was decent.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what was decent. These next two promos that we saw.
Oh, I know. One of them.
One of them. Unbelievable.
Was the highlight of the night.
It really was. Lexi Nair is interviewing Bryan Danielson backstage.
Uncharacteristically, his hair was down.
It was. He usually has it like the man bun or like the ponytail.
I feel like I haven't seen him like that in a long time.
Yeah, the hair was down. It's very few and far between these days.
So on the stream that I was on, I was like, wow, you could say he looks like Jesus, but have you ever seen Bryan Danielson and Jesus Christ in the same room? And I was on with Sinner on the round table. Well, he is an acquired taste, so I understand that.
Yeah.
I was like, never seen Jesus Christ and Bryan Danielson in the same room.
It's true.
And then, funny enough, later on, he mentions heaven in the promo after the match.
He does after the match. That was a great promo. Which we'll get to. But Daniel, basically Daniel says he's looking forward to facing Ospreay tomorrow night. And he's looking forward to getting revenge on Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher for what they did on Wednesday. And then Ospreay interrupts, and Ospreay tells Danielson, hey, I had nothing to do with Don Callis and them attacking you guys. I had nothing to do with it. And Danielson gives him he goes, yeah, sure. And you can tell Ospreay's pissed. Mm-hmm. He's like visibly like, you mother. Yeah, like he's angry.
I love everything going on.
I do too. I liked it a lot. It was short. It was sweet. It was quick, but it was to the point. And it was.
We were wondering how was Will Ospreay going to break off from the Don Callis family, and it's being laid out right in front of us.
Yes, it was.
And it's working. And it's very good. I
liked it a lot. But what I really, really liked, this might be the best Tony Storm promo I've ever seen. And I love all the black and white Tony Storm. Like, I love all of that stuff. But this was, the promo starts. She's got the lipstick still all over her from what Thunder Rosa did on Dynamite. And Tony Storm says, leave this one in color. That's how she starts the promo. Leave this one in color. And she go, oh my God. She had so many lines. She said, this is a competition, or this is wrestling. This isn't a charity. If you wanted to uplift women, you should have stayed a social worker. Oh my God. What a line.
Oh.
What a line. I
didn't even know that she was a social worker.
No. What a line she says there. And then she said, oh my God, there were so many. I almost wrote them down, but I was like, no, I'll remember them. And now I can't remember half of them. But she said that line. She says that if Rosa wanted to drag her to hell, she better check the address, because hell is in her bedroom and she makes love to her demons every night.
That line popped me
That was a good
so
one.
hard.
That
That
was a
was
good one.
insane.
That was a good one. It was just so good. She was serious. No messing around. She sounded like a killer. She sounded like somebody who was gonna beat the shit out of Thunder Rosa tonight.
I think I'm gonna have
It was so good. It was so good.
full in color. I'm reading from my old stomping grounds, cage side seats.
They put full promos on there?
They don't always, but it might be a good. It wasn't the person who I thought was doing it. She usually puts full promos. She's very good with that. She said this is a business, not a charity, and if Thunder wanted to uplift women, she should stay a social worker.
Yeah.
Fighter, but Tony Storm is a star.
Yeah.
She made the title everything Rosa wanted it
Yes,
to be,
that's what
but
she
couldn't
said.
make.
Yeah.
Basks in the
Unbelievable.
Thunder Rosa basks in the glow of the sun that shines right out of her ass.
Right out of her ass. Yes, that was another one. Very good. Very good. Very good.
I was in my bedroom and I make love to my demons every bloody night.
Yeah.
That was
incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably one of, if not her greatest promos as Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, that's where the door is now.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a door. Well, it's not the door to the room, but it's just a closet door right over here. How does Lou taking the redesign of the room?
He's like, oh, the wires are over here now for me to chew. Cool. All right. I'll just take a different route. But that's what he's doing. So far, so good. He seems to be doing all right. I think it's more open. I don't know if it's going to stay fully this way, but I think it might. But it's more open now, the room. So I think he probably will end up liking it better because he has more spots to roam.
Yeah.
But he still just always comes over here and he's like, I'm going to chew every wire behind your computer. Thanks. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I got to keep an eye on him. But yeah, I thought this promo was awesome. I was looking forward to this match before this promo. But I am very much looking forward to this match now.
Okay, this is not anything to do with what we're talking about right now, but I just had an idea.
Yes.
That you might
I like
go
ideas.
For. I don't know.
I like ideas.
But
yeah.
You should put a little like doggy door style thing on that door.
I mean, I wouldn't be against that. I don't know if Lou. Oh, here he comes. I don't know if Lou would use it. I don't know if Lou would really use it. But he just likes, he's standing right in front of me now. If you want to, this is where Lou is right here. This is his back. So he's just doing the thing, He's like, yeah.
So his fur goes right into the background like my cat's does.
Yes, he has a lot of fur though. He's got a ton of fur, dude. He's a oh, hey, big guy. Oh yeah.
Actually, I had somebody say to me the other day, "That's a background. That's not actually behind you."
Well, because a couple weeks it wasn't a background, Drew. That was your actual what was behind you.
Oh well, for
many weeks.
But, come on.
And Lou is down. All right, Lou is down.
This is obviously not natural.
Lou is down. Yeah.
Yeah. So that promo was an all-timer.
Incredible.
Honestly.
Incredible. And then I'll tell you what, we had this bunkhouse brawl match, and this shit was pretty wild, Drew. This match was pretty wild. It was the Blackpool Combat Club. It was Bryan Danielson and Claudio against the Don Callis family, who were represented by Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. And it was Bryan was bleeding everywhere. It was pretty violent. To me, it just shows how crazy and just how good Bryan. I mean, everybody was good in this match, but how crazy Bryan Danielson is. He's on the last year of his full-time career. He's got a dream match tomorrow or tonight now, but when this was happening, he had a dream match tomorrow that everybody has been waiting for, and he's like, Tony, put me out there in a bunkhouse brawl match. I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me, and I'm going to bleed everywhere around this arena. That's what I'm going to do. And it's just like, all right, man, just do it, brother. And this match was very good. It was very entertaining. It was a lot of fun. It was brutal. But yeah, dude, Danielson just like face full of blood 24 hours before I'm like, all right, dude, rock and roll. And then he cuts a promo after the match, which is just, man almighty, what a promo he cut here. But like,
I know that.
can we say more good things about Brian Danielson? Sorry.
Like you said, I know that this is his last full year as a full wrestler. I'm probably going to have to break through my anxieties and fears of traveling, and wherever his last match is,
Yeah, you got to go,
I'm gonna
right?
have to go.
Wouldn't be, yeah.
I have to go because it'll be emotional. It'll be like, Sting's last match. And I need to be around all other wrestling fans so that we can all cry and sob and console each other because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to just do that sitting here at this desk watching it on TV.
That's fair.
I was going to last year for the first time do a long trip down to North Carolina to go to not WrestleCon, WrestleCade, because Brian Danielson, like way back in, I think it was February or March or something, like April of 2023, was announced for November's WrestleCade that they do every year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to that because I'm going to meet Brian Danielson. But then unfortunately he got pulled out of it because he was injured. I never bought something to go. So, but if you get an opportunity like that to meet Brian Danielson, you have to take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
100%.
match was so good.
It was very good.
It was bloody. It was there. So there's this one point where Claudio takes, I believe it was Takeshita, outside, in the open, where the fans are.
Yeah.
They knock over a trash can, or he uses a trash can, and then all of the trash that was in it comes out.
Yeah.
And then he's picking it up and putting it back in the trash can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then goes like this afterwards. Oh, so funny. So, yeah, but this was really, really fun. And of course, what
the
happened
promo
afterwards?
after. Yeah.
The promo. Go ahead, you get into the promo part.
Well, Danielson takes it, and he says, people were asking him why he would have this type of match 24 hours before facing Will Ospreay and that stuff. And he said, well, he goes, a lot of people, when they think of heaven, they think of golden streets and they think of clouds and they think of, whatever, this, that, or this. He goes, but when I die, my heaven is going to be wrestling in this wrestling ring in front of you people. That's my heaven. And he goes, and that's why I told Tony to book me in a bunkhouse match tonight. And that's why I put it all out in the line tonight, because this is my heaven. And, people get iffy sometimes when you mention stuff like that, religious based things, heaven. I'm not saying heaven is strictly, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to get at. People get iffy about it and stuff like that. But this was one of those promos where it was like, we know we don't have a lot of time left with this guy. And when he starts talking about, like, when I'm not here anymore, when I die, when the blah, 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 like, this is why I'm doing what I've been doing here. This is why when I said a couple months ago that this last year is going to be a crazy year, this is what I mean, because this is my heaven. And I know I don't have a lot of time left. And so, like, this is why I'm doing this shit. So if you see me bleeding all over this ringside 24 hours before I'm supposed to have one of my more important matches in AEW history, at least. This is why I'm doing that. And I think it just, everyone can resonate with it. Everybody has their own version of what they think that is for them. And so hearing somebody like Bryan Danielson, who we've watched and we've been side by side with for 20 years of this up and down journey of his professional wrestling career, I think that was like, when he was saying that promo, I was just like, wow. I was like, yeah, all right. Like it sounded like not the fine, but it's like we're getting towards the finality of it, And I think when he talks about stuff like that, it shows that he knows how important it is to him. And it's just, I don't know. I felt a certain way about it, and it was a good way. I wouldn't say emotional, but like it was definitely like when I saw the promo, I was just like, wow, damn, like that was heavy.
You know what
That
it
was
is?
heavy.
It shows you the passion that he has for wrestling. Like, and you've seen it throughout his career.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say particularly, I don't know his Ring of Honor days or anything he was in before WWE,
Yeah.
but his WWE run was amazing for me
Yes.
because
Sure.
that's how I got to know him. And 10 years ago, WrestleMania 30 was the first ever pay-per-view of WWE's that I watched. It was on the network. It was the first WrestleMania on WWE Network. And it was so incredible to see the Yes Movement get its due and win in the main event of WrestleMania. And that it was just the greatest moment. Ironically, until 10 years later, when the next greatest moment happened with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's just, it was, and I was sobbing watching him at his retirement speech. Was just killed me.
Yeah.
Because of how much I love him, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm never going to be able to, because I had just came back into wrestling the year after Edge's retirement. So I never lived Edge, the Edge retirement and his amazing career back then, because, now he's having an amazing career again, thankfully. But it was so, so emotional and sad. And then I got to see him come back from retirement, and that was emotional then. And there's this whole, the Planet's Championship run. The debut in AEW. His first match in AEW, I got to actually be in the building for. The 30-minute draw between him and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Just their first, I think that was their first ever draw, too, in the company.
Yeah, I believe so. No, Cody and Darby. Did they draw early?
I don't remember.
I don't know, but it was it was the first time, because then they started doing draws more often after that. There was like every so often there would be one. So it was the first one, at least, maybe ever, but at least in a while. I thought maybe Darby early on had a draw with Cody to kind of like cement Darby as like a,
like during the pandemic.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, but I really just wanted him to get that AEW title one time. Just one time.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
It's not.
We'll see. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's fine though. But
I don't remember if it was, I think it was the second Grand Slam where him and Moxley were in the main event for the AEW title when Moxley had the title. Yeah, this was right when BCC started and William Regal was still there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, please let this be the day. Let this be the day. Let me be here in person to witness this. Because earlier in the show, that was when Claudio lost the Ring of Honor title to Jericho. So I was there for that moment.
Mhm.
It's like, let's get it, and of course that didn't end up happening. But yeah, this is the greatest of all time. And it's not even like, I know Jeremy Lambert tweets this every time Brian Danielson is on the screen, but just
Not everybody.
it's it's the truest it's the truest thing in the world.
To a
Like,
lot of us, yes, but not everybody. Like, I know a diehard wrestling fan that I'm in a fantasy baseball league with, and he watches the stuff every week. And we were at our draft, and we were talking about wrestling, and we were talking about, and he's like my age, so he grew up in the Attitude Era, so like he still watches wrestling, but like his heart was in it a while ago. And we were talking with another guy who was like me, and we were talking about Brian Danielson. We mentioned Brian Danielson, and the guy who still watches wrestling, been watching it for 30 years, was like, "Yeah, I know. A lot of people say that like, a pipsqueak looking guy like that is the best of all time." And me and the other guy were like, "Yeah, he's like at least the best North American guy of all time." And the guy was like, "That's ridiculous. Dude's 5'2". Like, and that's a guy that still watches wrestling.
yeah.
So not everybody. Listen, people
I've
like,
Yeah, I
you know
know.
what I
I've
mean?
heard people
You
don't
know what I
like
mean?
him, which I don't
So like,
understand it.
yeah, I mean, well, that's the
Me
thing
and
about
that guy
wrestling,
would have
right?
not been friends anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing about, yeah. And look at, for like 5 or 10 minutes, good-heartedly, we were talking shit to each other, like ragging on it, being like, well,
Who's
it's
his
okay.
favorite wrestler?
I didn't ask. I didn't
You
ask.
should have, because I would have roasted him for that, whatever the answer was, even if it
Whatever.
was Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's what it probably would have been. It probably would have been that type of, you know. But regardless of that, like it's one of those things where you see somebody like Danielson, and yeah, and Jeremy does have that thing. Like, imagine you didn't think he was the effing goat or whatever. It's like you watch what he does. Like, watch that after this match tonight. We're all going to be sitting here. I think we're going to be talking about Will Ospreay a little bit more than Danielson, but we're all going to be sitting here going, "Holy, come on, man! Like, what else
It's
can
like,
this guy do? What
the
else can
thing
this guy
is,
do?"
too, and this is what I love about wrestling, honestly. There is
That is true. That is true stuff. He did do that. He did do that.
well,
Well,
Taylor
it was
Swift is his
a
music
double.
goat.
It was a double out. She released one, and then a couple hours later, she was like, "Here's another one."
He's so funny. I love that man.
Unbelievable.
Um, but what I love about wrestling the most, and it's so niche, but it's starting to kind of become,
It's cool.
now I won't say mainstream, but
No, it's, I think when The
it's
Rock, when The
the
Rock
final
kept on
boss made
saying
it cool
wrestling
again.
is like cool again and stuff like that, like I think we
I
are
agree with it.
approaching a stratosphere coming up here, where like, wrestling's always been cool to us. But I think like, yeah, I think we're approaching a thing where like, yeah,
Right.
like you said, not like on a full mainstream level, but yeah, wrestling is kind of popping at the moment
Yeah.
of
Well,
like,
that's why I
oh, this is
said
fun
it's so
stuff.
niche,
Yeah.
really. It's but to tie it into this, I can say, like, I wasn't a young wrestling fan because I was an adult in 2012. But for like younger wrestling fans that are like
Hmm.
getting into this now, or have been getting into it for like maybe the past 2 3 years, let's say, um, I feel like, and I could, this is in my opinion,
Yeah.
maybe not others' opinions, but definitely not your friend's opinion.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like Will Ospreay is the next Brian Danielson.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that, to be honest with you.
So, like,
I would not disagree with that at all.
to have seen Danielson's career through WWE
Hmm.
into now in AEW was over 10 years. It was like 15 almost. It's because I think he was in the company. I think he started in the company in like 2009, 2010, WWE.
Hmm.
Um, and I started watching WWE in 2012. So I missed a couple of his first years, but I've been a Bryan Danielson fan for 12 years now, and he's only gotten better and better and better since then, even at
100%.
the age that he's at now.
100%.
I believe he's like 44 or 45, something like that. Early 40s.
Who is this now? With Danielson.
Danielson, yeah.
He's definitely in his 40s.
Yeah. I'm going to say between 42 to 45.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 45, maybe 42 to like 44.
Yeah, he's around there. 1981, so 4 years early. He's 42. That would be 42.
42. Okay. So yeah, it was right on the money. So yeah, so like, and Will Ospreay, how old is Will Ospreay?
Not old.
I know he's not young.
I would say 31, maybe 31 or so.
So in
1993. Yeah, 31. Nailed it.
Wow.
Nailed it.
So Scott's saying 29. Is that?
Well, it's 19. Yeah, I think it would be.
Well,
yeah, he's probably 30, going to be 31 this year.
Be 31 this year.
He might be 30 at this moment, but it's his 31st year of life.
Yeah. So Bryan Danielson back in 2010 or 2012, when I started watching wrestling, I think was 31 or 32.
Yeah.
Or almost there. If he's 42 now, that means he was 32 in 2014. So he was 30. He was 30 in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So right at the same time. So right now, this is a mind blown moment for me right now, actually, that we're doing this. He is the same age that Bryan Danielson was when I first started watching Bryan Danielson.
It's pretty good.
And now, someone who could and this is his first time, this is Will Ospreay's first time full-time on American wrestling television.
Yes.
Someone now, a kid in one of the crowds that Ospreay has been in any city in this country, could be seeing Will Ospreay for the first time, fall in love with him, and watch him for the next 12 plus years.
That's wild.
Just like I did with Bryan Danielson.
It's pretty good.
And that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I love pro wrestling.
I love it. That's what makes it great. That's what makes it great. I can hear my cat knocking all my water bottles off the counter out there. Love that for me. Then we had a backstage interview, or segment, I should say, with Willow, Chris Statlander, and Stokely Hathaway. Chris Statlander says that they're fired up because Julia Hart did what she did and hit Willow with the chain. And then Stokely Hathaway basically dedicates an FU to both Brody and Julia Hart. And then Willow gets a little fiery. And she says, I'm going to powerbomb you through a table. Calls her a bitch. And says that she's going to win that title tonight. That's what she said, but it was a little fiery. Yeah. And then I liked how Statlander was like, world star, and Stokely was like, ah! And they all just kind of laughed. Oh, that was fun. That made me laugh. But
when we get there, we'll talk about it. But this was a little uncharacteristically fired up for one Chris Statlander.
Well,
made me wonder. Me wonder.
You don't have to wonder. She's 100% turning on Willow Nightingale at some point, maybe tonight. But anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. Brian had the hair down, man. Brian had the hair down.
Yeah, we haven't seen it down probably for most of his AEW run.
We then had Sky Blue defeat Layla Hirsch. That happened. I think she beat her with the Dragon Sleeper. Solid, I didn't think it was anything crazy. I thought it was fine. And then we had a main event. It was another trios match. Pac and FTR versus The Elite, Kazuchika Okada, Matthew, and Nicholas Jackson. This was a fun main event. Really, really good. And we actually saw Pac get the victory as he hit, I believe, Matthew Jackson with the Black Arrow for the pinfall victory. But I thought this was a really, really good main event, as you would expect. Made sense. Pac's going after Okada. You got FTR and the Bucks. It was a perfect main event. So they kind of bookended this show with 2 trios matches that were a lot of fun. That all had implications for this evening, which we'll get into Dynasty here right after this. But I thought this was a good main event, Drew. Nothing crazy happened. No, it was just a straight up.
The crazy thing was the result. Honestly, I didn't.
Well, I was going to say, Pac. Yeah. I thought Okada and the Bucks would get a win, but I thought it was good because it gives Pac a little momentum because most likely he's not winning tonight, so it gives him a little momentum, makes people think, oh wow, maybe Pac will win tonight. But I thought it was a really, really good main event, as you would expect, with these 6 individuals that were involved in this main event. Yeah. Tight Spot was at the TNA show last night, and he's saying that he got to shake Ali's hand. Damn right.
Oh, wow.
He's the X Division champion. Did he hang on to it? He won? I think he was defending it. Yeah. What'd you think about the main event? Anything to add? I thought it was just a solid main event with a nice little surprise victory there for Pac.
Yeah. No, I really don't have much to add. It was a really good match. Surprise victory there. And they brawled afterwards, right?
Sure did.
And now we're at the end of Collision. Yes. I did not know that we were not waiting until after Rampage to do the Collision post show on Fightful.
Yeah. So you did you miss Rampage?
I missed Rampage.
Listen. Rampage was solid. It was solid. I'll just run through the results. Really, that's all I'm going to do. John Moxley did kick off the show with a backstage interview, though. That was really good. He addressed that now. Okay, he addressed that now. The title match is for the title, and he basically said Hobbs shouldn't hesitate for a second, because if he does, that'll be all it takes for Moxley to all the time he needs for Moxley to retain. We had a high flying fatal 4-way elimination match, or sorry, not fatal 4-way, high flying 4-way elimination match, which saw Rob Van Dam versus Lee Johnson versus Isaiah Cassidy versus Commander. I believe Lee Johnson was the first one eliminated, and then Isaiah Cassidy, and it got down to Rob Van Dam and Commander. Commander was excellent in this match. And it came down to Rob Van Dam and Commander, and Rob Van Dam got the victory. High-flying 4-way elimination match. We then had Yuka Sakazaki defeat Emi Sakura via pinfall. Then we had that really sweet moment where Angelo Parker came out, and he talked about the last year in his life and how he's been kind of reflecting on the road. And he said that he lost some friends along the way, as you guys have seen. He lost his mentor. And then he mentioned his dad. He said, when he got into the wrestling business, the only thing he really wanted to do was make his dad proud. And he said that his dad's not really here anymore, but he thinks he probably did that. He thinks he did that.
Who was
this is Angelo Parker. And then they gave him a good round of applause. And then he was like, but yeah, I've been doing this for, I think he said 12, 15. It was a long time. And he was like, and I don't think I have anything left to fight for, really. So I'm in the ring to announce and it sounds like he's going to say retirement, and Ruby Soho's music hits. Ruby Soho comes out. And Parker did mention, he just said, hey, along the line here, I did meet the love of my life. So he did mention Ruby. And Ruby comes out, and Ruby says, hey, I can't let you do this. I can't let you think that you don't have anything left to fight for because I am pregnant. And apparently this was a shoot, because they are together in real life. She is really pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knew or not, or it was an actual surprise in the ring. He played it off like he had no idea. Like, it was really well done, and it was emotional, and it was good. He kind of got down on his knees and hugged the stomach. It was nice. And then there it is. So that was that's what we did there. So that was a nice little moment. And then we had a main event. It was another trios match. 3 of them on this 3-hour block. It was Kyle O'Reilly, Rocky Romero, and Daddy Magic Matt Menard, defeating the Undisputed Kingdom. Kyle O'Reilly made, I think he made Mike Bennett tap to the arm breaker. So again, this was another thing like they did at the end of Collision. They gave Kyle O'Reilly this victory in this trios match because, as I think when we start talking about Dynasty tonight, I'm not sure Kyle wins. But I think this was one of those things where they were like, oh, Kyle O'Reilly, we won this match. So now in the back of the fans' minds, you got to be like, oh, shit. Kyle's has momentum going into tomorrow. Same thing they did with Pac there. So Rampage was fine. Rampage was good. I thought the wrestling on it was good, but, nothing like, nothing sizable happened. But something sizable happening tonight. Drew. It is AEW Dynasty. We have 12 matches to discuss, 3 of which will be on the 0 hour, which we will dive into first. But this is sizing up to be an all-timer for AEW, just based on the card. Yes. And I think they need it. I think they need an all-timer right now because they have some momentum, and I think they just really need to just keep the rocket strapped. All right, so we have a 0 hour. We have 3 matches listed for the 0 hour. The first of those being Trent Beretta going one-on-one with Matt Sydal. So we've seen Trent.
Why is this match happening?
Well, Trent obviously turned a couple weeks ago.
Well, that I know.
Orange
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Why is it him?
And then last week, not last week, this week on Dynamite, when Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal were trying to come out to help Orange Cassidy when he was getting his shit kicked in.
Okay.
Trent was swinging a chair and hitting everybody with chairs.
Yes, I forgot about that. Okay.
So it's very odd, though, because
so random. But now, I forgot about.
You know what actually does make it not random, but makes it odd for me is another match on this 0 hour is Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Now I understand why that's happening because the Shane Taylor Promotions was the group beating the shit out of Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
But Trent Beretta is also like, why wouldn't Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy just be? We're just gonna say we're gonna save that for Double or Nothing or something like we're gonna But anyway, yes, we have Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. I mean, I think this match will be fine, but I think this is a match to just kind of have Trent Beretta get a nice victory and kind of establish his new heel bad guy persona. That's what I'm taking out of this match. Yeah. I think it'll be good though. Both guys are very good in the ring. It'll be, we're going to have, Trent Beretta versus, Evan Bourne. I'm sure they fought back then. I'm sure they had to when they were in WWE all the way back when. We then have Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata going up against Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor of Shane Taylor Promotions. This is stemming from Wednesday night where Shane Taylor and Shane Taylor Promotions beat the crap out of Orange Cassidy. I don't know who wins this one, Drew. I feel like Orange Cassidy and Shibata will because it's on the pre-show, but I feel like Shane Taylor should. But I think Orange Cassidy and Shibata are going to win, but I do feel like Shane Taylor Promotions should just keep winning and keep being more important. That's how I feel about them. But I expect Orange Cassidy and Shibata to take care of business.
Yeah, me too.
And then the last match booked, I assume it'll be the main event of 0 hour. It is a winner take all for the AEW Trios Championships and Ring of Honor 6-man championships.
The pre-show.
I actually don't mind it being on the pre-show. It's an important match. Put it on there. I mean, I don't feel like
this is what makes me think maybe what I thought was going to happen isn't going to happen.
Maybe. I don't know if people care about this enough in totality to have it on the main card, to be honest with you.
I feel like so
we got the boss man popping in saying, morning, friends. Morning, Spencer. Hope you're doing well, friend.
I think Max Caster needs to turn heel. And I don't
during
know.
This?
I was expecting it to be during this. So
you think just turn heel to break up the Acclaim, like not turn heel and join Bullet Club or anything like that? Like,
I was expecting him. So I don't know if I said it on here or if I said it elsewhere.
It might have been on Beer.
But,
yeah.
I feel like the right thing for right now, at least, is Max Caster turns, joins Bullet Club Gold,
Mhm.
and that cements. People want to boo him anyway because a
Yeah.
lot of people don't really like him that much, as Lawrence said before. Um, and I think Anthony is really the star of that whole deal,
Yep. I would
and
agree.
I feel like Anthony and Billy can be the new Sting Darby Allin, while Max gets to be his douchey heel that he obviously is. I mean,
Yeah.
his presence on Twitter is not pleasant all the time. um, and I feel like his personality would fit well with Bullet Club Gold.
Okay.
So, but now that it's on I feel like breaking up the Acclaimed in that way would be more of a main card thing.
I think something can happen where they lose this match that eventually maybe leads to the breakup happening on Dynamite or Collision or something like that. Although, if you want to make it a point that you should watch the 0 Hour, why not have a giant angle or have something big happening on because they did this for All In, right? With MJF, right? Wasn't there on one of, maybe it might not be All In, but I feel like on one of the shows where MJF was fighting on the 0 Hour, they had an angle happen where he got the shit beat out of him after one of those matches, and they started off the main pay-per-view by saying, "Oh my God, at the end of 0 Hour, and this happened to
Oh,
MJF. We don't know if he's going to be able to fight later."
it was All In last
Yes,
week.
that's what I thought. I thought it was All In. So,
Yeah,
if you want to continue the trend of making your fans have the mentality of, "Oh shit, we can't miss 0 Hour because big things happen on 0 Hour." Not saying that Max Caster breaking up the Acclaimed and turning on Anthony Bowens is at the level of MJF, who was the world champion at that point. But you know what I mean. You do big stuff on the
yeah,
show,
right,
people are going to be like, "Oh, dang, maybe we shouldn't miss 0 Hour because they just literally broke up the Acclaimed
right.
on
Okay,
0 Hour."
I see
You know?
that. I see your
So I
point.
think I most I I agree with you. Is I don't think they will do anything major because it is 0 Hour. But if
Right.
you wanted to change that trend, um, there you go. Tight Spot says Trey Miguel said the pre-show is there to make sure people are on the fence of buying the pay-per-view. So have something major happen to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know? If you do a big angle on your pre-show and somebody's on the fence of, "Oh God, I don't know if I want to spend $50 or 20 wherever they are or whatever," and they go, "Oh shit, that happened on the pre-show. Like, there's probably going to be some big stuff that's happening tonight. I'm
Right.
buying
Yeah.
this." You know what I mean? Uh, do we think that it's just going to be winner take all, or do you think this is going to be something that will unify these titles? Because they're saying winner take all, they're not saying unification.
Right.
So are we going to have a trios just walking around with 6 belts, or are they going to actually? I think it would be smarter for them to maybe not tonight when it happens, but like on what I think it would be smarter here. Whoever wins this, they're just the AEW Ring of Honor Trios champions, or just
I feel like
AEW Trios champions, but they'll float to whatever you want to do. I
the
feel
problem
like,
though is
you know,
that Ring of Honor champions don't float. They're mainly AEW. That's the except for Athena.
oh, did he say on the conference call that it is unification? I must have missed that. I did not listen to the
Oh,
media call.
oh yeah, I didn't hear the conference call. So um but yeah, the problem is that, and I mentioned it earlier, when Ring of Honor titles are involved in AEW storylines, they're mainly on AEW, not on Ring of Honor. So,
I agree.
you know, hopefully if something like that, like a new streaming deal happens where Ring of Honor is included, it can actually like become a bigger deal than it is right now. Um, Maybe then we could have more dedicated Ring of Honor storylines with Ring of Honor
Mhm.
titles. Um, so I mean, I understand Tony's vision with it of like, hey, I want to make Ring of Honor seem more important by putting its most of its main champions on the AEW programs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work out for people who are dedicated to watching Ring of Honor, because every champion except for Athena is usually mainly on AEW programming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, how many times was Eddie Kingston on Ring of Honor TV with the Ring of Honor title? How
Yeah.
many times have the Kingdom been on Ring of Honor TV with the tag titles?
I don't know. I don't watch Ring of Honor.
I don't watch it either, but from what I've seen from people who I know who are friends, Kate Hensler, Kyle Spark, like people who watch Ring of Honor, Robert DeFelice, the ones who dedicate time in their week to watch Ring of Honor, they complain about it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So it's like, it seems that it's not working out very well. But I see the vision. Like I said, I see the vision, but it's also not translating to the dedicated Ring of Honor fans that there are out there.
Mm.
It's not making them want to continue paying for Honor Club and watching weekly TV, especially when a lot of times, like the people I mentioned just said and have said, there's like few minute random thrown together, sometimes squash matches on Ring of Honor TV on Honor
Yeah.
Club,
Yeah.
when the main champions are in major storylines in AEW programming. So,
Yep.
there's got to be some sort of a balance there. And it really feels like one side is getting more of it versus the other side.
It's
And the
fair.
other side, the side that's not getting more of it, is the side that needs to get more of it.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. All right. We move over now to the main card for Dynasty. It is 9 matches. Every championship, with the exception of the TNT title, is on the line. And the TNT title is not on the line because the gentleman holding it, one Adam Copeland, is in a trios match, teaming up with Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston to go against the House of Black. I have really, I know we talked about it last week as well, and I said it, but I've really been enjoying Adam Copeland and AEW, specifically more recently. The last couple months, I have, I think he's having really good matches. I think his matches are a little bit of the old Edge type matches that we're used to, but like definitely presented in the new school AEW way. I think he's been great. I've liked what they've done here with the House of Black. Kind of, they separately were torturing these 3 guys for a little bit, and then these 3 guys were like, hey, it wasn't like all of a sudden it was just like, oh, they were going after Mark Briscoe for a while, and then they kind of started messing with Adam Copeland, and then Kingston, it was like, and now we're going to have this trios match. I think it's eventually getting us to the point where we're going to have a one-on-one with Malachi Black and Adam Copeland. I think that's what we're trying to do. And I think this is a good way to get to it. I think Adam Copeland, Briscoe, and Kingston will win. I think. But I'm not actually. Okay, I was going to say I'm not certain on that. You think they lose and then that sets up the Malachi Black, Adam Copeland maybe for the TNT title?
Yeah.
Fair. It's fair. I'm kind of, yeah. All right, that makes sense. I think that's what should happen, I think. But what do you think? Oh, lose back. What do you think about this trios match? Like, where do you think it's going to go? So you obviously think House of Black's winning.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to set up that match, and I'm wondering if at some point between now and that match, whenever that match happens, Christian Cage comes back and gets involved somehow.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
Like bro.
because I feel like they need to have one more match together. The final, the trio, the third in their feud.
Yeah.
Because we've had only 1-1,
Okay.
and 1-1, and then the other one. So, and I mean, I don't count World's End as 2 matches
No.
because, and I kind of don't count it as Adam Copeland winning, even though he did win, but then, you know, immediately after Christian Cage won again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that was more Christian Cage's win, and then Adam Copeland definitively won.
Yeah.
So there's 1-1, and now we need someone to break it up and be 2-1. So I
That's
feel
fair.
like there's got to be that one last match between the two of them.
All right. I like that. I think Double or Nothing would be a perfect place for that match to happen. But yeah, I like that a lot actually. So, all right. We then have, this is not a recognized AEW title, but we have the FTW championship on the line as Hook will be defending against Chris Jericho. I think Jericho's winning this shit tonight. I think Jericho's winning it.
So do I. I don't like it.
Oh boy.
I don't like it.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Not
I know
because of.
Yeah.
I don't like it not because it's Jericho winning. I don't like it because I don't know what happens with Hook afterwards. Like there's no like if they do this, there's a possibility that the learning tree is not even a group. It could just be a thing that Chris Jericho constantly says.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would just rather not.
I would rather not either. I know he can't get physical, but I would love Taz to just get involved and cost Jericho the match somehow. I just think that would be great.
I mean, he did kind of a little bit get physical.
I mean, he pushed him, right? He gave him like a shrug or whatever, and Taz
It wasn't like a full on.
Yeah, but I don't think Taz can get like. I don't think it's like he can do. And again, I'm not talking about getting physical, like him taking a bump. Like, can he get in there and punch Jericho in the face? Can he throw a punch? Like, can he do one little thing that just distracts Jericho or hits him into Hook with the red, whatever works? That's what I would like to happen. And then maybe this loss is what fully turns Jericho heel, even though he already is kind of, but like fully turns him heel, and then he can do the light, the tree, the Jericho, whatever, ditch the rarefied air. That's not yours. But you know what I mean? Like, you can do that. And
who has the rarefied?
Richard Holiday, a star in the making, a guy all of us will know if you don't already know. He was from Chaotic. He was in MLW. He had to step away for a little bit last year. I think he had cancer, I believe. But he's back. And he literally calls himself the rarefied air. That's what he calls himself.
I know what's happening.
So
I know what's happening.
Unless he's doing that because Holiday is going to go to AEW and be with Jericho, I'm okay with that because Holiday's
exactly what's happening.
It better be, because if Jericho's just doing that and he's just taking this guy's gimmick, no, dude. I know you've been in it for 40. I know you're one of the best. No, not okay. Not okay.
So I
don't have a problem with Richard Holiday. Most marketable Richard Holiday, rarefied air. I don't have a problem at all if he's going to AEW because that dude is a star. A star.
I don't have any inside info on this or anything, but that is what's happening. I'm telling you right now, that's what's happening.
Okay. Yeah,
and that's Richard how Hook is going to lose.
In MLW, Richard Holiday was in a stable with MJF and Hammerstone.
And you know what that stable's name was?
Dynasty.
That word that's right behind you.
Yeah. You can't the name of this chairs there, but yeah, Dynasty. All right. So what?
And actually, if I'm remembering correctly, MJF, who was in that group with Richard Holiday, and his valet manager, whatever you want to call her, Alicia Atout.
Mhm.
Isn't MJF with Alicia Atout right now?
Correct.
I believe
In real
they are
life.
a couple
Yes,
right
but
now.
Alicia Toot in MLW was a reporter, and then she turned into a character and a heel manager with Richard Holiday, and they were like a romantic couple on screen.
Right. But in real life, MJF and Alicia Atout, I believe, are together.
I believe so, yes. Yeah. A
So
lot of tie-ins, bro. A lot of tie-ins.
yeah, thinking that's what's happening tonight.
Maybe. I think
Which
either
would be
way,
cool
Jericho.
because I actually don't know Richard Holiday. I only
He's
know
good. He's
people
good.
a lot. Sean Ross Sapp talks very highly of him. They've
Yeah,
had
he's
personal
very good.
conversation.
I had
So
the
I've never
luxury
seen a
of
match of his
seeing.
before.
I had the luxury of seeing him quite often because he was a local guy around here. He's a local guy around
Oh,
here. I don't know if
okay.
he's from Massachusetts, but he wrestled the circuit. I think he's from the Northeast, but he
Yeah.
wrestled the circuit around here. So I had the luxury of kind of seeing him when he first started, and then when he first started turning into this, this most marketable like character that he has now. Like he started that. I got, he's very good. He's very, very good. All right. We have, where do I want to go here? The rest of them all besides one are championship matches. TBS championship, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. Now, the winner of this match, he's from Connecticut. Thank you, Scott. So a New Englander. He's a New Englander. The winner of this match not only will be the TBS champion, but next month at Double or Nothing, they will have a date with one CEO, Mercedes Moné. Now, this past Wednesday, Drew, on that promo that Mercedes cut, she did say, the line that she said was, yeah, I forget like the whole thing, but she was basically like, at Double or Nothing when I'm fully healthy. So that told me that the
Oh yes, I was going
reason
to
why
mention
she
that.
hasn't been
Yeah.
wrestling is because she's not fully cleared. Which that's what I assumed. I just needed to hear it, because if I didn't hear it, and I don't know, she should be wrestling. But now that I know, totally cool. Her health
Tony
is most
Khan
important.
and Mercedes were watching our show last week.
They were. I heard my
And they
concerns.
said JPJ needs to know that I am not ready to wrestle yet. And she did that, and she was
Yep.
like, thankfully JPJ will now know.
No, I do. I can sleep well tonight. I can sleep well. That's all I'm trying to do. So that is true. I believe Julia Hart has a not great shoulder. She's a little banged up, which is why when they had that mixed tag match on this past Wednesday, I think that's why that match kind of went the way that it did.
Yeah.
Not only to continue the story of who's attacking people, Mercedes and now Willow, there's a story there, but to also protect Julia Hart, because I don't think she's healthy at all, to be honest, with that shoulder. Now, all week, SRS and everybody has been saying that they've heard that Julia Hart is going tonight. She's wrestling tonight. So she's obviously good enough to do this match or some form of this match. I don't know how it will turn out, but I got Willow tonight, Drew. I got
Me
Willow
too.
winning this belt tonight. And then it's going to be Willow and Mercedes, and they're going to finish their unfinished business. But you just said me too. I want you to talk about the match, because there is an overlying factor here of who attacked Willow, who attacked Mercedes. And I think you and I and a lot of people think who it is. So talk about the match, and then we'll kind of talk about who we think.
Yeah, so Julia and Willow have had this feud going for quite a while now. Almost a year, I want to say, because I believe it was somewhere around All Out
Yep.
last year that Willow got sprayed with the mist.
Yes. It was,
So,
yeah.
and we thought that that's when she started developing the blonde streak. The makeup was forming, like sort of like she was starting to turn into a heel.
Yep.
But then they stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been like on and off feuding since then. So it's been like 6-7 months of them like on off feuding.
Yes.
And now it comes to a head here, finally, the singles match between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And with Julia Hart not being 100%, and with Mercedes and Willow having a natural born feud into their storyline from the New
Mhm.
Japan match, it makes the most sense for Julia Hart to not retain here.
Yep.
She can go off and get healthy. And now we have this interesting triangular feud that
Mhm.
will now happen between Willow, the new TBS champion, Mercedes,
Mhm.
who's going to be wrestling presumably for the TBS championship in her first match at Double or Nothing,
Yep.
and the person who's attacking them both, Chris Statlander.
I agree. It's Statlander. Sure is.
It
Sure
just
is.
makes the most sense.
It does. It does.
And it's so what I'll say that since Mercedes is not 100% yet, and Double or Nothing is the end of May,
Mhm.
so that's a little like a month and a week or so,
Yeah, like 5 weeks, 5, 6 weeks,
5
something like
weeks.
that.
Until Double or Nothing, I think they could start the feud with Chris Statlander tonight, where Willow wins the title. Stokely and Chris, go down, celebrate with her. And now I don't know if Stokely is involved.
I think
This
he
is the
is.
part that I don't know about.
I
I
think
know Chris is.
Statlander and Stokely kind of separate and do their thing.
So you think Stokely is
I
by
think
the
he
Statlander?
I think he will be. I don't know if it'll be something right away. Maybe Statlander turns and then Stokely acts like he's shocked. And then a couple weeks down the line or on Wednesday or Saturday, we find out that Stokely was kind of behind this as well thing.
Okay.
And I think you could do it that way. How I think this ends is I think Statlander and Stokely, because the whole reason Stokely is involved with these three is because he wanted to manage Statlander. Willow was never supposed to be part of this. It was he wanted to be
Right.
there with
Yeah.
Statlander. And then Willow and Statlander were buddies. And at first, Stokely wanted nothing to do with Willow. But
Willow, yeah.
then Willow started winning matches, and Statlander hasn't been winning matches. And I think Stokely has just he's come along to Willow. Like he kind of, or at least he's showing like he likes Willow now.
Right.
But I wouldn't be shocked if,
Okay.
you know,
So they'll come down to celebrate with Willow. Maybe do like the put her up on the shoulders spot, something like that, and then drop her,
yep.
and heel turn commences, and crowd starts booing, and Willow realizes, and Mercedes then realizes as well, oh, wasn't Julia Hart doing it the whole time? You thought you conquered your big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it actually was the person that you thought was your friend all along.
Yep.
And now she's
Imagine.
coming after the title. Maybe we get a women's triple threat at
Maybe.
Double or Nothing.
Maybe. Well,
Because,
I think,
she didn't say
well,
Mercedes didn't say anything about it just being a one-on-one match. She just said her first match was at Double or Nothing. We don't know what the match is.
that's true. That's true. I
So
mean,
I could see
there's a lot of ways they can go about it.
Mercedes kind of being like Chris Statlander, the clear heel, Willow, the clear babyface, and then Mercedes
It's
being the
kind of in the
clear
middle because
kind of tweener.
because she has a problem with Willow,
She has a
and then
problem with
obviously she'll
Willow,
have
but now she has a problem with Statlander.
yeah, because Stat
So,
attacked her.
yeah,
So she'll
I
kind of be
feel like that
the
would be a
woman
good.
the woman in the middle kind of has a problem with both, whereas Willow will really just want to kill Statlander, and Statlander will probably just there's
I can see.
I like where they're going.
Yes,
I like where they're going.
I can see
So
it being Chris, Willow, Mercedes, Double or Nothing, trios, whatever a three-way, whatever.
three-way.
Yeah, triple threat is WWE.
Yeah.
So three-way match at
Mhm.
Double or Nothing, and then in a similar fashion to the trios match with uh, Hangman, Swerve, and Joe. Joe capitalizes on the two, Hangman and Swerve
Mm-hmm.
actually having their feud more than fighting him. So I could see Willow and Mercedes focusing more on their feud than fighting Chris, and Chris takes advantage and pins maybe Willow and retain and or wins the championship as a result. And then Mercedes and Willow do their thing, and then there could be another match, a singles match down the line. I feel like that could be a thing that they do.
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against that. That sounds like something that could happen. But we are both in agreement that Willow will win tonight.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think it's time. Especially if Julia's banged up, she can go get healthy, and then I think when she comes back, she should be around the main title picture. But yeah, and then we'll see. We'll see if it happens tonight. We'll see if they drag it out a little bit, but it's happening. It's happening. Statlander is the one that is doing all this stuff. So, all right, we continue along. We have the AEW International Championship match. It is Roderick Strong defending against Kyle O'Reilly. We saw Kyle O'Reilly get the submission victory in the trios match at the end of Rampage. Roderick just won this damn thing. So I think he's going to retain. But
Yeah,
I
I
would
feel
not
like
be
that's-
shocked at all if Kyle won. I would not be shocked at all.
I feel like this is definitely going to continue after this. This is a feud ender.
Yeah.
So I don't think Kyle wins. I think Roddy retains.
You think it's a numbers game? Something
I think
like
a
that?
numbers game.
Or do you think it's just straight like cheat? Obviously, you think like some sort of.
Okay, I'll tell you this. If Roddy loses, it's because somehow I'll say accidentally, because he'll make it look accidental. Wardlow gets involved. That would be the only way I see Roddy losing.
Okay. I could be into that. I'm picking Roddy. Pluggo, just wait till Thursday, bro.
Wait. Pluggo, look at my background. I paid for all this stuff. I have the fancy background.
Yeah, I just put a picture behind me. You
should have a plain wall behind him. I also have a plain wall behind me, but my picture is of things that cost a lot of money.
True. This match should be excellent. This match should be excellent with these two. There's like 3 or 4 matches you look at, and I'm just like, bruh, like all these are spectacular. This match should be very, very good between Roderick and Kyle. But yeah, we just got the report earlier this week though that Adam Cole is not he's not healed as fast as they would like him to be. So he's probably not coming back for a bit still.
Well, that's why I'm saying this is definitely not a feud ender. This is going to continue.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, the end game of this whole thing isn't going to be involving Adam Cole whenever he's ready to go. So if we're not getting that for a little bit, maybe you could make a title change and have it continue, or maybe either way. But right now I'm picking Roderick Strong just because he just won the thing, and I think he's going to keep it for a little bit.
I agree with you, though.
But yeah, it should be a good one. And talk about a good one. AEW Continental Championship match. I am looking forward to this tremendously. It is Kazuchika Okada defending against Pac. Thank God Pac is. Okada has been excellent since he showed up as a heel.
Wait. So Okada has the AEW Continental. What is Roddy's title?
International.
Okay. Yeah. I think we got that confused earlier when we were talking about Collision.
Did we?
I remember you saying that Roddy had the Continental.
Oh, that was my bad. No, Roddy has the International. Okada has the Continental.
Okay.
And he's fighting Pac. Breath of fresh air seeing Pac back, dude. Pac looks great. Always is. He looks great.
That thing that they're doing during his entrance.
Yes.
They're in the back of that whatever that is.
Yeah.
And he's just like looking very sinister as he goes by the holes in that wall. That looks creepy, and I love it so much.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He's been great. His promos have been excellent. He's obviously one of the best in the ring. This match, Drew, should kick so much ass.
Agreed.
And it's like the third, you can make an argument, it's the third or fourth best match on the show. And this match should be insanely good.
Yeah, you're right.
This is not Okada's first AEW pay-per-view appearance, but it is his first singles. No, wait, he beat Eddie Kingston. No, that was on Dynamite. Yeah, this is his first singles AEW pay-per-view match as an AEW roster member. Coming in as the champ. I expect him to leave as the champ. I think Okada, I'm not even think. I feel pretty confident that Okada retains here, but I'm expecting this to be a show stealer, Drew. A show stealer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to mostly every match on this show. And this one has certainly a potential to be a match of the year candidate.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
I agree.
amongst the like,
I was going to say you could probably
matches,
pick. I think you could pick 3 matches on this card that could potentially be match of the year. Like if things go the way that we all think they can go.
Yeah,
match of the year caliber matches. All right, we then have. Oh boy, baby. The AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It is a ladder match. The finals of the championship tournament. We do have FTR on one side, and then we have our EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson on the other. We've been talking about this at length, Drew. I know we talked about it a little bit last week. Ooh, some stuff's going to go down in this match, people. I expect the Young Bucks to win. And I expect the Young Bucks to win because I think we're going to see somebody come back tonight.
I think the scapegoat returns.
I agree. I think I think Jack Perry, I don't think they're going to call him Jungle Boy anymore. I think one Jack Perry will return tonight during this match, and he will help the Young Bucks defeat FTR, who are CM Punk's boys. And the Young Bucks will be the first ever 3-time AEW Tag Team Champions. And our EVPs in this iteration of them will be running the tag team division. And then I think Jack Perry joins the new elite. And it's Scapegoat, Okada, and the Bucks for a little bit. But I think that's what's happening. We talked last week about the footage and how we felt about them showing the footage. And you were like, look, the only person that this does any good for is Jack Perry. And Jack Perry had an amazing reaction in Chicago a couple nights later at the Windy City Riot. There was a report a couple days ago that said that was his last New Japan date, and he is starting or restarting with AEW imminently. Well, guess what? Tonight is imminently. Imminently. And looking back on it, I still feel how I felt about the footage last week. Like, I think at the end of the day, it was a big nothing burger. However, I agree with what you said last week, Drew. And I think that now looking back at it a week out, that whole footage thing, I think was to set up the return of Jack Perry because he's going to be on a different level once he comes back here.
Yeah. Everyone was, even people that I like, that I'm friends with, were crying and bitching and moaning about this footage being shown. And you know what? I did part of that bitching.
Oh, I did too. Like,
well,
I thought whatever. Yeah.
But now with some hindsight, with some thinking it over, it helps Jack Perry.
Yeah, seeing what's happened since, like, it's, yeah.
And I agree with Scott there to have, well, I don't think that this entire time was a suspension.
No, definitely at first, but yeah.
Probably like the first 3 months, I'd say, was a suspension. And maybe ever since 2023, it's been, all right, let's get him in New Japan. I think ever since he did the contract the AEW contract rip moment when he debuted in New Japan, I think was when that suspension was lifted. And ever since then, he's been back, not with AEW yet, but, uh, you don't do that spot without clearing that with AEW.
Agreed.
So, there's no way that happened with him still on suspension.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been, obviously they didn't come out and say, oh, so yeah, we're showing this footage simply just to make it work for Jack Perry and make him a bigger deal. They were obviously playing Punk on MMA Hour, talking about the whole thing, and
Yep.
oh, CM, and the ratings aren't the greatest, and we don't really talk about that, and I don't really care about that. And I know you don't either. So hey, let's get a little bit of a ratings boost by showing something that a lot of people really want to see, and they did. That was accomplished, and then getting Jack over more as this scapegoat character, we can now definitively say, objectively say, worked.
Yeah, 100%. 100% it worked.
It was, I now agree, maybe, there were some other nefarious means of playing the footage, but I now agree with playing that footage. Because for Jack to have gotten the insane reaction that somebody that I know who was there live said that it was one of the craziest reactions they'd ever been a part of. For that to have happened because of the footage means that it was a success.
Agreed. I agree. I think it's going to happen. If I was a betting man, I'd bet on it that he's coming back and helping the Bucks win tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see him back. And I think this.
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't say that the fight itself was a work.
No, that wasn't. But they look at again. They made the best of it. And I do think, like you said, Jack Perry is the one that is gonna come out of this looking the best because of it. And I'm excited to see him back in AEW. It has been a long time since he's been gone. And I'm looking forward to getting him back. Because I think in this new scapegoat role, if he leans into it a proper way, I think this could be a really, really big thing for him. A really, really big thing for him. Yeah. This besides that, this match should be ridiculously good.
Yeah, it's a ladder match involving the Young Bucks and FTR.
Exactly. We've seen FTR and Young Bucks and what they can do against each other 3 times already. Throw a ladder match into it. This is going to be wild. Again, another one of those matches that we could be talking about. That's the best tag team match of the year. The best tag team match of the year type stuff. Alrighty, we have the AEW Women's World Championship, Drew. We talked about it earlier with that fantastic Toni Storm promo from Collision. Toni Storm defending against Thunder Rosa. We've seen Deonna Purrazzo kind of be involved here with Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm, obviously. We had that moment a couple weeks ago or a month ago where Thunder Rosa was helping out Deonna Purrazzo when she was getting attacked by Toni and Mariah. And Deonna told Thunder, I don't need your help. Well, in this lead up here, we've seen the same thing, but on the other side. Thunder Rosa has been out-personed, and Deonna Purrazzo tried to help. And Thunder Rosa was like, no, I'm good. I don't need your help. We've seen them getting shoving matches in each other's face. And what I think is going to happen, not maybe in this match, I'll let you go first on this one. Do you believe Toni Storm retains?
I do.
Okay. I agree as well. And I think what we're getting is at Double or Nothing, we're going to get a one-on-one match between Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. And I think that is going to be, we're going to start seeing some more women's matches that aren't just around titles. And I think Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo are 2 perfect people to have a grudge match at Double or Nothing next month, when it's not for the title to get a third or fourth women's match on that card. I think that's eventually where we go. How we get there, I'm not sure. But what I am sure of is that Toni Storm is going to retain here, and she's going to win. I don't know if Deonna will get involved at all or anything like that. I don't think it'll go that far. I think I would like them because Thunder Rosa never lost that belt. She never lost that belt. And I expect these two to go out there and kill it. Like, I think this match is going to be quite good. It's going to be very good. But at the end of the day, I do think Mariah May, Toni Storm is going to retain. Toni Storm's going to retain. I feel pretty confident about that, but I wouldn't hate. I mean, I love Toni Storm and everything about it, but like, I wouldn't hate Thunder Rosa winning.
No, I wouldn't either.
You know,
but I don't see, unless then it's Thunder as the champion with Deonna facing her.
Yeah,
at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know because
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm with you though. I do feel like. Yeah, I do feel like Toni Storm wins.
I'm not. Not only am I not ready to part ways with this version of Toni Storm as champion, but I feel like she's still got more to do.
I agree. And there's the whole Mariah May, like that's got to happen at some point too, you know. And like, Toni Storm has been so good with this for so long, doing this that like it's one of those things to me where it's like, just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just let it go.
Especially with that promo last night.
Incredible.
Like that immediately made me go, oh, she can't lose this title
Yeah,
again.
incredible. All right. We are at our dream match, Drew. It is Will Ospreay going one-on-one with Bryan Danielson. This match, without question, is one of those matches that you see on paper and everybody looks at it and you go, how is this not going to be the greatest wrestling match of all time? Like, how is this not going to be like one of the handful to dozen best matches that we ever see with these two guys?
I have Twitter open.
Yeah.
On my other screen here. And I refreshed and I saw that 10 minutes ago, All Elite Wrestling's Twitter account posted a 45-second video of what we're talking about right now, of just Bryan Danielson sitting cross-legged, bloodied up, in like some sort of storage area or something, just in his meditating pose with his hair down. The man looks like Jesus Christ. I'm not even a joke. He is my he is my Jesus Christ. I'm not even, you know. I pray to the religion of Bryan Danielson. Just with it playing the promo from last night, but like him talking about heaven and having his hair down like that, and I mean, it literally looks like Jesus Christ. And I'm not religious. I was born, you know, I have like Catholicism and I went to a Catholic school, whatever, but I pray to the altar of Bryan Danielson. That's
fair.
It's now in regards to this match tonight. Man, I might have to do something I've never done before, and I can't pick a winner because I legitimately don't want either of them to lose.
Well, one of them has to. Well, technically not. You could do the draw gimmick if you wanted.
They could.
You could do the draw gimmick. I don't think you do. I think Ospreay Here's my thing. Will Ospreay's. It's his first. He's going to win, right? Everything tells you that Will Ospreay is going to win. His first. It's a dream match. You know what I mean? But So I'm torn with. I'm not. I just know we're gonna get an amazing match. So like I'm not really torn. I like both these guys. I'm not upset. I'm not upset about who could potentially win, who could potentially lose. However, Bryan Danielson has been losing left and right.
Actually, that's not true.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, I feel like when Bryan Danielson has
I
that big
specifically
matches,
I'm saying that because
like I know he won
I
last
just
night.
went to Cage Match to look at his matches because I was going to say he hasn't lost in a while.
Well, he wins the Dynamite and Collision matches, but like when he's fought in a big match on a pay-per-view, like a title match, like
Well, yeah, he doesn't win those.
he doesn't, and I feel like this is another one. This is a big dream match that looks like he's losing.
In just singles, because he's also won with Blackpool Combat Club combinations.
Yes.
He's won. Oh, so he was at CMLL earlier this month.
We're gonna say that doesn't count.
He defeated Blue Panther. Yeah.
Yes.
Count. Yeah.
Yeah.
He defeated Shibata. He defeated Lance Archer. He defeated Shane Taylor. He defeated Jun Akiyama. His last loss, and it wasn't in AEW, was when he lost to Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
At the NJPW show.
Okay.
In February.
So that was
his last loss this year.
Okay. So that was a big match.
And he lost.
What is his pay-per-view track record in AEW? The last handful. I'm sure he won one with the BCC, probably had a tag team one or.
So at Revolution, he lost.
Yeah.
To Eddie Kingston.
Correct.
At World's End, he won, but he was in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
Singles match.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor in Blackpool Combat Club match, he won.
Okay.
Oh no, he didn't win. I'm sorry, it was a double count out. Well, fight without the ROH final. I don't know. I see it here twice. I don't know why. There's a fight without honor. FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood and Mark Briscoe defeat Blackpool Combat Club, and then after that is fight to honor Jay Briscoe, Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR and Mark Briscoe double count out. So I don't know what that deal was because I did not watch that pay-per-view. So I don't know what that deal was. But anyway, so let's just focus on AEW.
Yep.
So he lost to Eddie Kingston.
Yep.
And then his next singles match in AEW pay-per-view was at Wrestle Dream. He defeated Zack Sabre Jr. The one before that was All Out. He defeated Ricky Starks. So it's kind of like back and forth.
Yeah.
But when it's for a title, he loses.
Does not win. This is not for a title tonight, though.
So this is not for a title. So he could potentially win. Remember, we did not think last year's Forbidden Door. Was it Forbidden Door? Yeah, it was he was in a 4-way at Full Gear 2022.
Yeah.
For the Ring of Honor title, lost that. He was in Revolution, the 60-minute Iron Man match. MJF defeated him. That was for a title. So those two title matches he lost. But we did not. Now this wasn't for a title, but I did not expect him to win against Okada when they had their match at Forbidden Door. I thought Okada was going to win that. I was surprised to see Danielson win that. So it's like when he's in a match at a pay-per-view and it's a title match, he loses. Yeah. When he's in a match at a pay-per-view and it's a non-title match, he wins.
He wins. So we'll see. Tonight is a non-title match, so we'll see. I am picking Will Ospreay tonight, though. I am picking Will Ospreay. I know. Are you really not going to pick? I mean, if that's your call, that's your call. But
I will say probably Will Ospreay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it hurts. It legitimately hurt me to just say that right now,
Yeah.
because I love Bryan Danielson, but Will Ospreay is the new Bryan Danielson,
I think he's got potential to be that guy.
and I think Bryan Danielson would want to put him over.
Yeah.
Even if it's not now, they might have another match where he will.
Yeah.
Um. All right, I'm
Uh-huh.
picking Will Ospreay.
All right. I got it out of him. I knew I would. I knew I would get it. All right. We are at the main event of the evening. Boy, oh boy. Again, this is a match that I feel like, again, the moment we're going to get with this is going to be amazing. But like, this is a match
You
that
got
I
me to
feel
say
like
that when I'm wearing a Bryan Danielson shirt. You
I
son of
know.
a bitch.
Sorry. I just feel like in the shuffle of like the Osprey, Danielson one, Okada pack, not like for the level of match, because I think they've done a fantastic job with this Swerve and Joe stuff. I think they've done a fantastic job. But I feel like people aren't really talking about how good of a match this is going to be. And this match is going to be really good. Really good, guys. It is Samoa Joe defending against Swerve Strickland. That thing that they did at the end of Dynamite, where Swerve jumped through those security cards and landed on his feet to go face to face with Joe and stop brawling, bruh, that was some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
That ruled
And
so
like,
much.
I was on my couch losing my shit. That was so cool. Listen, guys, I've been saying it. It's Swerve. I love Samoa Joe. You're damn right. Peer pressure. Peer pressure always wins. I love Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe, and he has been a great AEW champion here. His reign has been terrific since he beat MJF for that belt. It is Swerve's time. It is time for Swerve. This match is going to rule, but at the end of this show, we should see Swerve Strickland standing up with that belt over his head, celebrating. Because, Drew, it is time. It is time for Swerve to become the AEW heavyweight champion. And that's where I'm sticking when it comes to this match.
Yep. We've agreed, I think, pretty much on every single match. Although I don't technically really agree with the one that you forced out of me. But I need Swerve to win this match, honestly. I think we all
I think
do.
AEW needs Swerve to win this match,
I
to be honest
agree
with you.
with that. I was just going to say, I think AEW also needs him to win this match because, look, Samoa Joe, who we did not know was going to be able to compete on this level again, has, I would say, in my opinion at least, revitalized the AEW championship out of, and I don't consider it really to have been this way, but I know a lot of other people do. He revitalized that championship out of the mediocrity that it was in from like September to December before he won it. In many people's eyes, because the Devil storyline dragged on and got stale and people weren't that interested in it. I was interested in it.
Yep.
So I'm not saying it because of me. I'm saying it because a lot of people I know, I've seen it, I've read it, I've heard it, were not fans of the latter part of MJF's championship reign.
Yep.
And I can understand it.
100%.
I don't agree, but I can't say that those people are wrong if you feel that way.
Yep.
Joe won the AEW World Championship probably accidentally. Accidentally in the sense of I don't think he was ever going to win that championship. Now, I
Mm.
could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know any inside stuff. I don't talk to Tony Khan. I don't know what his booking was supposed to be.
What do you mean? You don't have the inside line?
I would, hey, I mean, I would love to. Seems like a
I'll
night.
give it to you off here. I'll give it to you off here.
um, I want, if ever Samoa Joe were to watch this, or if I were ever able to talk to him in person, I would want him to know, like, listen, his NXT run ended very shittily. They just randomly took him off TV. He was injured, but
Yeah.
they just made him vacate the title, and
Mhm.
then he was released afterwards. Never got to be back on TV. He got brought into AEW. Never thought
Mhm.
that this would be Samoa Joe from 2022 to today.
Mhm.
Honestly, he had an amazing run with the Ring of Honor TV title. Dropped
Yeah.
that, and I think, and again, not with any inside knowledge, accidentally tripped into a major AEW world title feud
Yeah.
after Grand Slam, because I know Grand Slam I'm sure was supposed to be the match,
Yeah.
MJF and Samoa Joe. But
Mhm.
after that match, it was going to be MJF and Adam Cole.
Yes.
And then Adam Cole got hurt.
Correct.
And then MJF got hurt.
Correct.
And was continuing to get hurt and was still working up until World's End. If Samoa Joe wasn't involved in that, what would be the state of the world title right now?
Yeah.
Because both
Mhm.
of those people that I just mentioned are injured and off TV.
Yep.
And have been since January.
Yep. Joe's carried the flag. Yeah.
It's like he just accidentally fell into a continued world title feud and ended up winning it because and I'm not going to say that he only needed to win it because both Adam Cole and MJF were injured.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves it 100%. And he made the first half of this year.
Yeah.
We're not at the halfway point yet, but he made the first 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
Almost full, because we're almost at the end of the month.
Yeah.
The first 4 full months of this year, he made the AEW World Championship mean something.
Oh, yeah, big time. And it was necessary because, again, I was very much like you. We were singing the praises of the Adam Cole MJF thing the whole time. I never felt that way that a lot of people felt, but I did feel like for a lot of that feud, the World Championship was kind of background fodder a little bit to the story. And I feel like since Joe has been the champion, the AEW World Championship has meant the most it's meant in a bit. And I think they needed that because they needed the title to be in a different place for when Swerve gets his moment. Because they knew Swerve was getting here a while ago. We all did. Eventually, we knew Swerve was getting here. And then he just kind of like that. And I think that, again, I think this was a good decision when they said, okay, we need to, obviously, like you said, it might not be happening if everything was perfect and Adam Cole doesn't mess up his ankle jumping off the stage and MJF isn't wrestling 2 times a night and wearing down and getting injured and stuff like that. Like, maybe we're not here at this moment, but because of the circumstances, they've made the best of these circumstances. And I think we're really going to see something special tonight. First ever Black AEW World Champion. Obviously, that's a huge deal. That matters a lot. I know they're only a 5-year-old company, but still, that is a gigantic thing. And Swerve is, and look at this is not saying that Joe isn't, because Samoa Joe is cool too, but Swerve is cool as fuck, Drew.
Oh my god, he is
He's
so fucking.
I'm
Cool.
sorry. At sometimes, whether you're a kid or you're a 40-year-old man like me, Swerve is cool as shit. Like, how do you not want that guy to be the champion of your company?
And he is
The
cool as
badass,
shit.
man. He just looks awesome. He's in
Yeah.
like hip hop community. He does good shit. The vignette, like he cares about wrestling. He cares about making wrestling popular. He cares about like doing things differently too. Like things do you remember just think about like Swerve on his journey here. Like he was doing stuff in AEW that we'd never seen before. When he went to Nick Wayne's house and bloodied him up in the fucking ring,
Yeah.
we didn't see
And
that type
then,
of shit before. Hangman's
remember
kid in the
the
house.
Billy Gunn, and
Yes,
he
kidnapped him.
got like they did that like horror movie-esque like
Yeah,
thing with Billy Gunn and him.
like they didn't do that type of stuff before. Like AEW's always been pretty cool. Like they do different stuff. They weren't doing that type of shit. Like they did that type of stuff. I remember that Nick Wayne thing with Swerve and AR Fox, and we came on here and we were like, that was like serial killer shit. That looked like a fucking horror movie. Like, dude, and again, he's a good guy. He's a good guy now. Yeah, he's a good guy now. So I don't think he's gonna be doing that next week as champion. But but like it was that type of. He's just a different cat, man. He's just a different cat, and he brings in a whole new audience to AEW because he is involved in a different demographic. He's involved in the hip hop community. He does that act, he is everything you want to be a transcendent wrestling star. And I think tonight is the night that we see him take the mountaintop here. And I'm excited about seeing where world champion, like a world champion Swerve Strickland run comes. Because if it's me, now this is how I book, okay? If it's me, I'm not going to ruin. A part of me would want to ruin the moment tonight because I am that type of guy. But like Swerve should win tonight and he should celebrate and everything should be fine. But if I was booking it, I would let him have his moment and celebrate and crown that moment, and then Hangman would show up and beat the fuck out of him. That's what I would do. But that can happen on Wednesday. Because I think the main event of Double or Nothing should be Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. That's what the main event should be.
Yeah.
What kind of stipulation you want to give that? Who knows? Mike from Indeed, our buddy, he wants the barbed wire exploding death match. Do it. Do it right. I don't care. I'm on board with that. But the main event of Double or Nothing should be kind of the last standoff for a while, the last blow off for a while between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland for the title. That's what it should be. How you get is where it is. But tonight itself, this match between Joe and Swerve is going to be awesome. And Swerve's going to win, dude. Swerve's winning. I want to say I'm almost the most confident, which makes me nervous. But I'm almost the most confident that Swerve is doing it tonight. It's happening. Of all the matches, I feel like this is one of the top 2 or 3 that I feel the most confident that Swerve is winning. And Swerve should win. And I think Swerve changes the trajectory. Like I just think it's a different era. They're talking about new eras over in WWE. If Swerve wins tonight, it's a different era for AEW. It's a different thing. And I think we're in store for something special as the show as a whole, but I think this moment with Swerve is going to be really special tonight.
Yeah, I agree. And I do agree also, I feel like it would be like Hangman comes out now after Swerve is celebrating. But you can't do that so many times because I feel like I also said, oh, well, like for the Statlander Willow things, like, oh, well, yeah, they do the celebrating and then they turn afterwards. It's like one or both of those things could happen on Dynamite.
Yeah.
because they do big things on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like out of anything tonight, you give Swerve his flowers. You let the show go off, finish, no attacking, no anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Dynamite, Hangman comes back and beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, I think
His
that's probably the
first
way you do it.
promo as champion.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way you do it, or something. But either way, I think Dynasty tonight we're setting up for this is going to be an all timer. I think this is going to be an all timer in AEW. I really do. I think we're going to see some. What I know we got to get out of here. I'm on a time crunch today, sadly, but I need to get out of here. But one thing we didn't even mention. I think there's a chance. I think we're getting some surprises tonight. We talked about Jack Perry. We talked about that surprise. I think there's a chance we maybe see the Motor City Machine Guns tonight as well. Maybe on Dynamite. You talk about that. The Bucks are out there cutting a promo on Dynamite, and they show up. They're free agents. They have a lot of history with TNA. With that's what the Bucks were called, Generation Me or something like that back then. Something like that. But there's history there. I would not be shocked. But I think we're going to see some surprises tonight. We're going to see some new champions crowned tonight. It's going to be a really damn good one.
In the champion side, I feel like probably you could maybe do Kyle O'Reilly. Maybe, but I feel like that's Roddy more. We're gonna get Willow.
I think we're getting Willow.
Sure about that.
I think we're getting Swerve. Obviously, the tag titles is to crown a champion, so we're definitely getting new champions in the tags.
Right.
And then if you talk about, I just feel like we're getting a few new champions tonight. There's going to be some returns, a couple surprises.
Probably now that we talked about it, and with the name Dynasty and the rarefied air of Jericho, and Richard Holiday being a free agent, I feel like probably that's the learning tree thing, and the rarefied air Jericho could bring Richard Holiday into the fold, which I wouldn't hate.
No, I wouldn't hate it either. That dude's a star, dude. That guy's going to be a big time deal. But
Joe Pearl said that the Machine Gun are
in Canada. So maybe they don't. Maybe they come in the next couple.
So
whatever.
Could be Dynamite or something.
Dynamite or Collision or something like that. Or maybe that's how they get you, Scott. Maybe that's how they get you. They make you think they're in Ontario tonight, but then they end up being somewhere else. But anyway, Drew and I will be back here next Sunday recapping AEW Dynasty in the week that followed with AEW Wrestling. We want to thank everybody for hanging in the chat today. We want to make sure if you're watching Dynasty tonight, have a great time. It's going to be a good one, folks. It's going to be a good one. I'm sure Drew and I will be on the socials, so say hi. Let's have a good time tonight. Let's enjoy some wrestling tonight. Let's enjoy a really, really good show tonight and have fun and be positive. For crying out loud. But anyway, Drew, let the people know quickly where they can find you, and then I'll do my thing, and we'll get the heck out of here, man.
You can find me at the Drew Nicholas on Twitter. You can find me at the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. We do news, we do reviews, we do all that shit. And all the links for everything are in my bio. And, of course, I'm at the Collision post-show with...
last night you got Phil Lindsay on there last night, huh?
Phil Lindsay was on last night.
Love Phil Lindsay.
Sometimes Phil Lindsay. But usually a mix or all three of Riccacino, Cresta, and Iridian. And I collect the super chats and humper chats there, and it's a great night. It's a great time. Come join us every Saturday night, and then join us here on Sunday morning at Firmly AEW. And also follow Firmly AEW on Twitter at Firmly AEW.
Yes, do that. Go give us a follow over there at Firmly AEW. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including Twitch. You can find me here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. with my man Pluggo doing Between Two Beards, the flagship of Love Wrestling. And you can find me here every Sunday, like Drew just said, doing Firmly AEW.
You could also maybe...
Well, I was going to say, I was going to give a tease. Do it. No, you can do it. I'll let you do it.
Soon, you may be finding the Firmly AEW tag team doing something else very soon.
Potentially. I'm not even gonna say potentially. It's gonna happen. So stay tuned to the socials of both Drew and myself, because there might be some news coming in the next week or so where you might see us doing some other stuff. So, and see me doing some other things like that. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Enjoy Dynasty tonight. Can't wait to talk about it next week with Drew and all you guys. I will see y'all very, very soon. And you guys know the drill by now, guys. Peace out.